Welcome back into the Pound. I'm Kramer Sansone, along with Jay Binkley over there, here locked in the Pound Town of YouTube or wherever you're listening to us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that, ask us questions. We always answer that as well. Bink, there's sports upon the midnight clear, if you want to say it that way, because it's coming around the corner. I hope it's sometime soon. But the thing that won't be coming sometime soon, because a plan got rejected, is Major League Baseball. The owners rejected the 114 game plan. So right now, it doesn't look like we're at a stalemate with this. So when are we going to see this baseball back? Because personally, I want to see it back now. It should have been back already a lot sooner than what it has been. Because all the players they need their monies. Everybody needs their monies. But it seems like this is going to take forever, and there may be a chance of no baseball.
Maybe I put my chance of it returning at 20% last week.
Yep. I did 25.
You know what? I know it sounds weird. I may have to go up, actually.
Really?
I may have to go up to 25%.
Well, Trevor Bauer was on the Pat McAfee show today. He said there's a 95 to 100% chance that we'll have baseball back this year. So
I'm raising it way up then if Trevor Bauer says that.
So if Trevor Bauer's saying that, you're saying, okay, it's going to go up to 50. Honestly, right now, from what I was reading this and stuff, I mean, there's a possibility, Jeff Passan put out there, a possibility of a 50-game season or an 82-game season, which 82 games is half of 164. So I would actually prefer that more than this 114-game plan, because you can at least see, okay, this is what the projected stats towards the end of this 82-game season. This is what they could have done, what they couldn't have done. But right now, if Trevor Bauer is saying there's almost 100% chance of baseball coming back, it won't be at a maximum capacity of 114, but I can see the 50-game being the most proper way of bringing baseball back.
Did he say this before he knew that this proposal was rejected?
This was way before this proposal was rejected.
All right.
I think this interview was recorded last week, but they put it out today.
Well, this is definitely a setback.
Huge setback. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, 50 games is nothing, Kramer. We're on what, game 62 to 9 virtual baseball?
Yes.
I mean, that's a walk in the park. 50 games.
It's 2 months.
You know what, though? Bad teams have a chance.
Oh, yeah.
If you're having 50 games, you expand the playoffs, everybody's got a chance.
If you're a team like, say, the Kansas City Royals, who always start off hot, no matter what the season is, what year it is, they always start off hot. And there's only 50 games this year.
Not always, but mostly.
Yeah, from what I've seen my entire lifetime of watching baseball, they always start off hot and they cool off, or they still stay hot, kind of like with the middle parts of the 2010s. But this is going to help out teams that, like, say the Baltimore Orioles. If they start off hot, there's a good chance they might win the AL East, which is ridiculous to say.
We see teams kind of running away with things sometimes, like the Dodgers have before, before the All-Star break.
Oh, yeah.
These teams run away with things. That's the thing. But baseball, to me, is a marathon. That's one thing about baseball. And I know a lot of people want a shortened season, don't want the 162. I do. I find value in the 162 games, and it's not because it's for stats or career numbers.
I said 164 earlier. I meant 162.
No, it's a marathon, man. It's a journey. It's what I like about the sport.
Yes.
I'm a football guy by trade, but I do like Major League Baseball a lot. But I like the ebbs and flows, and I like the fact that you can go in slumps and you can come out of it. And it depends. Just like the Nationals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they wouldn't have even made the playoffs
Nope.
under this format, and that's the world champions. I mean, they were playing bad, and then all of a sudden they turned things around. But you're kind of weeding out those teams that are, making the trades, making the right moves, the team coming together, injuries, people coming back from injuries. That's the other thing, too. What if injuries set this back? Because now, 162 game, you can deal with a month injury from a star player early in the season.
Yeah,
because then they come back.
That's only 30 games. Think about it. For a month, 30 games.
Yeah.
You're missing your star player. You could easily recuperate because there's 6 more months left of the season.
But you do it now, and you lose those players. They coming back or not. So,
and maybe there's a reason why for that 114 game was not going to be allowed by the owners, because of the possibility of they're trying to look out for the players of possibly getting hurt. They're playing. There would be no off days at all if they're trying to get it from here until October 31st to have the season end right then and there, and then possibly have that to even bring a November type postseason into play, which that was not going to happen no matter what. But maybe they're trying to look out for their players, saying, okay, 114, maybe too much. Have that taxi squad, as they've been trying to think, maybe bring up the at least 35 players on the team. Yeah, they're going to have to social distance like they planned out for this. With the 50 games, you can still probably roll with your 26-man because it's not many games. Think about it. Starting pitchers.
Forget about the taxi squad if you lower the games.
As starting pitchers, they average about 30 to 32 starts per season. And this is a 50-game season. That's taking away probably about Of course, 20 starts, almost. So you got to think you're going to have arms be probably healthy for this season and next season. I mean, we already seen Chris Archer already done for the season if it even starts. So this actually a shortened season might help, but of course they want the money. And that's the biggest issue on this aspect for Major League Baseball is the money on both sides because the owners are going to lose a lot of money. We already know this. They're losing a lot of money now. They're going to lose probably a lot more money with even games being played because they have to pay the players. And there's going to be no revenue from, say, tickets. If there's no fans, there's no concessions being sold. The only thing you can think about is maybe the radio and the TV broadcast of where they're affiliated with. They could probably bring in that check that way. That's the only thing I could think of with these 50-game season. If there's no season, it helps the owners a lot more, which is sad to say because we all want baseball. I want baseball. I'm a baseball head. I'm a baseball geek. I'm a baseball fanatic. I want baseball back, and I want it at a safe level.
Well, what's bad is with the 114, you would have had that taxi squad, and that would get your guys that were going to get minor league at bats.
Like AAA people.
With 50, you're losing that. Like you're losing the development. That's the thing. Like this is going to be a developmental year for a lot of those Royals pitchers. I was looking forward to it. Brady Singer stands a good chance of making the opening day roster, but Bubic and Daniel Lynch and Kyle Isbell and these guys, they would have had a chance on the taxi squad. Won't get that chance. That's the most disappointing thing to me. But I'll take it because anything is better than nothing. I've always said anything is better than nothing.
Yep.
But this season, and they're not going to do it, but this season has a gigantic asterisk right on it. The asterisk is there.
Yes.
They won't say it's there. They'll say a champion is a champion. But will you still feel like you're a champion? Will you still throw the parade? I guess with no fans. You're still gonna throw a parade.
A virtual
if you
one.
Win it. You still gonna spin the jack on those rings?
It's true.
Think about the owners in these rings. They're costly.
They like to go all out with these rings.
But you're not making any money on a 50-game season. You expect rings? You expect all that? Are people gonna laugh at that banner you got flying in center field?
It's the COVID World Series is what they're probably gonna call it.
Hey, anything is better than nothing. I don't like 50 games. I don't like 50 games.
I don't either. It'd be smart.
But it is better than nil games.
I don't want to compare things to, say, other organizations or leagues like the KBO. They're squeezing in their entire season into that full year. They're going to end this about November 28th, which is a long time, but they have the capability of using a dome, and there's only 10 teams in this league, so it's easier that way. If they were able to have domes, I think the only dome stadium we have right now is Tampa Bay. And
Texas.
Well, I forgot. Oh,
Houston,
and the retractable roofs. Houston, Toronto. We got
Seattle.
Yeah. So and Arizona. There's a lot of these retractable roofs. I was not even thinking about that, to be honest. So, guys, good thing of pointing that out. They could easily just say, okay, we're housing the AL West here, or since there's more teams in the AL West that have it, you could section the AL Central in Houston, the NL Central in Texas, put the AL over in. But you would have to make sure it's no home field advantage. But then there wouldn't be any home field advantage anyways because you're just playing at a ballpark.
It's baseball, and we've seen it shift from home field advantage. Look at this last year's World Series. Mm-hmm. The road team.
Yeah, they won pretty much every single away game.
The road team won. Yeah.
And that's the ridiculous thing. That's that's never been heard of. That's never been seen.
It's baseball, man. I don't know, man. Baseball's a journey.
But
trials, tribulations, injuries, call-ups, making trades at the deadline. I mean,
and we could possibly
that's the magic of baseball, and this is gonna. That's the bad part too. These teams that had players that were trade bait.
Yeah,
like everybody technically is going to be in it.
Because there's going to be no trades. There will be no trades.
No, because you're still in it, and that's because even if you're 5 games back or 4 games, there's going to be a lot of teams that are still in it. Think about all the teams that are still technically in it by the second wild card by the All-Star game.
There's going to be a lot. I feel like if they do this format, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to have almost the same record. I really do think that.
You're not worried about attendance.
Yeah, no, it's true. This is maybe a good season for a lower tier type of team to possibly win it and possibly think, okay, we won this, but it really doesn't mean anything.
And what's the market value? Like Ian Kennedy, the Royals. We'll say he was true. What's the market value on a guy that's going to be used
15 times?
15 games.
15 to 20 games.
What's the market value? It's definitely different than someone making 4 because they only have the one trade deadline now, and you can't grab like the Verlanders at the end of the year and the non-waiver deal or the waiver deal. You can't grab guys on that. What's going to happen?
And you're
going to be giving up players for nothing.
You made a good point.
You're paying them nothing because you're paying them prorated salary. So the trades, bro.
It'd be difficult, and plus you also made a good point about this would be the year for the Royals to see the young guns come up and possibly. And there's gonna be no season right now, so they're doing nothing. we could possibly see a regression in playability in Major League Baseball, which is going to be very odd to think because if you can only hit off the tee so many times. Yeah, trust me, you can hit off the tee so many times. You have to see live pitching in order to get better. And if these players are still not able to practice with each other or anything like that, which was great to see Trevor Bauer and his momentum on YouTube, to have a Royals prospect, Khalil Lee, invited him out there to see some batting practice in the desert, which is pretty cool to see. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it. But they're going to have to see more of that because, like Bink, you can only play catch with somebody with no live batter. You can only hit the ball off the tee so many times in order to get okay, this is getting old.
I mean, spring training's going to be longer than the season.
Which is
the one they already had and the one they're going to have again.
Which I think it should just be practices. There should be no at least 10 spring training games, but the most of it needs to be practices for these pitchers. And if you're a pitcher and you're not already throwing right now with somebody, you've given up on the season already.
They got to be throwing right now.
You'd have to be. You'd still have to be throwing no matter what. Do your bullpen session about. I mean, you don't have to do it every 5 days. It's kind of like how a start was. You can go every 10 because you don't know when you're going to come back, but at least you know that on that 10th day, I can at least go 7 innings throwing 70 pitches to I don't know a cousin or something like that's catching for me. I mean, of course, it's probably going to be scary because you're catching a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or 100 from how everybody throws now these days. So if you're a pitcher and you haven't done anything yet, you've given up. Unless you're like Joe Kelly, likes to break out windows.
I'm with you, man. This is interesting. I mean, but if baseball's back, I'll take it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, Royals baseball would be fun every night. It'd be fun because they'd still be in it.
So, since I told you
maybe I'll like it. I don't know how I'll like it, but if the Royals are competitive in it, I'd like it.
Of course. I think I'd like it because I'm that person that likes to stay up and watch the AL West teams play. I think that's why I kind of fell in love with Oakland Athletics.
Well, there's always that. This is going to be the season of what if. What if, what if, what if.
It's true. And Trevor Bauer says 95 to 100% chance. That was before the MLG rejected it. Has this changed your mind at all?
It has to a little bit, yeah, because they're not on the same page. And I do believe there's owners that don't want to play.
They want to save money.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But, they're not in the position to lose money.
No.
And that's not something that's attractive to them.
No,
I understand.
I said 25% last week. I'm probably going to stay at 25% because I still don't.
I'll bump it to 30.
You'll bump it to 30?
I'll bump it to 30, from 20 to 30. They might agree with the 50 games.
I think it's.
So players can play. They want to play.
I don't see the players wanting to agree with that because the players, they train for 162.
Oh, I know.
Heck, some train for how many ever. You need 14 wins, 130. No, wow, 174 or 176.
I bet they do it. I bet they'll find a way to play. Just to be playing.
And teams that will be playing is in the NBA-wise, as they are going to vote. So this is coming out on a Wednesday. They're voting on Thursday the 4th. So we'll hopefully, if you watch this, if you take your time, the vote will already be out. Inviting 22 teams to Orlando, 13 West, 9 East, 8 regular season games per team. Playing for the 8th seeds. This will start on July 31st through October 12th. That is per Adrian Wojnarowski.
What took so long? Because this was in the NBA was coming back. Then they just struck that deal with Disney. What took so long? July 31st? Come on, man. They could do this thing earlier than that.
They could do it probably July 4th.
They're going to be running right up in the end. Here's the thing.
The finals should already been done by now.
So baseball is not going to screw up their next season.
No, they will not.
Basketball will be.
Because
the players that make the finals are going all the way to when? October 31st?
Well, I think the project is to October 12th. Is everything to be done by October 12th?
Okay. Then they got to turn around and go to training camp.
Yep.
Well, they're going to shorten the season again?
Well,
start games in
here's
December?
The thing about NBA. You play at least 2 or 3 times per week. Think about that. You do not play that many times at all per week. You could easily squeeze in more games per week for the next season's schedule, so you can at least start a little bit later. Say you could probably get the entire season done if you start in the middle of November or the beginning of December. You can probably get all 82 games done if you just bring more games.
Players don't like the back-to-backs, or you know how that works.
Well, that's the thing. Just play every other day. And I don't. Okay, yes, you are a typical NBA player will average about 40 minutes per game. If you're a starter, you will average 40 minutes per game. You are not sprinting the entire time. We have seen a difference in the NBA is you go catch it, pass it, shoot the 3. it keeps rotating like that. You are not even, the transitional defense is not even how it was, like, say, 10 years ago. It's a completely different ball game, and the way how athletic freaks that these guys are, of how, like, lean, mean, and they're able to do the ridiculous stuff that I can't do, they will be fine.
Regular season started, I just pulled up the Cavs. They played Orlando on October 23rd.
So that's opening, pretty much.
Opening.
Because their last week of, it's like 2 weeks in, the final 2 weeks in October is when they start.
I suppose you won't need much of a training camp.
Well, there will be, it's the weird thing, too.
But you're asking players to play a long time.
And you got to think, during this time, they've already had the Summer League. NBA Summer League is going to be in between this because they already drafted their rookies. Got the NBA draft coming up.
Yeah.
And who the heck are they going to take? Because, I mean, of course, we saw most college basketball happen. We did not see the March Madness tournament, so it was pretty much on the cusp of that. But at least you know who you think you can draft. I mean, there's a huge factor of what ifs in this plan, but at least they have a plan of coming back because NBA will be back. And the 13-9 West to East teams is kind of ridiculous. They're going to play 8 regular season games.
Yeah.
Everybody has at least 8 regular season games. Here's the list of the 8 teams of the East that should possibly be there. It's kind of weird towards the bottom, but of course 1 through 8's in there with the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, Heat, Pacers, 76ers, Nets, and Magic. And that 9th team, if they were to add that in there, is the Wizards.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of teams. Like I told you before this, there are 6 teams that are separated by 4 games to make that 9th spot in the East.
At least they're going to do that. At least they're figuring that. That's why only 22 of the teams are coming back. But the play-in tournaments with number 8 and number 9 teams, 9th seed finishes the regular season within 4 games. In that case, the number 8 seed enters a double elimination tournament, and number 9 seed enters a single elimination tournament. Thing is, will we care when September rolls around?
I don't think I'd care because...
I mean, it's fine now.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's nothing to watch.
But you also got to play into the fact that when September comes around, there's a lot more sports playing being. There's going to be college football. There's going to be the NFL. There's going to be baseball, of course, still. NASCAR will still be winding down. And now you have the NBA. There's going to be 5 sports going on at once.
Yeah.
And you also got to think about the other sports that are also college athletic-wise that are also playing.
We've got the NHL tournament, looks like, for the summer at some point.
I think it's going to be way done before by the way September ends, I think. Because they're going straight to the tournament.
I understand why they want to do it because they don't want to waste this season.
Well, the season was pretty much practically done in the NHL.
Although the Major League Baseball's done it. When they canceled it out, remember the Expos probably had a chance to win the
They should have won that World Series. They had yes, that was the player strike though. So it's the NBA at least has its core of teams that they think they can play there with all 22 teams. Putting it in Orlando, then having also Major League Soccer in Orlando, it's going to be a big hub. So you have to at least get this done before the winter starts because everybody's saying, oh, the COVID's going to come back. Well, I mean, it's going to be like the flu. It's going to come back no matter what. But we'll have better medical stuff in order to treat this. So I'm hoping by then, by say wintertime, we have a treatment for this, a better treatment for this, some vaccines for this. That'd be perfect for that. So then everything will just pretty much go back to normal. Because this is going to be a normal thing with COVID around here. And it's not going to be normal, though, for these sports. Because we're not going to see the NBA playing between July and October 12th. We're not. And I think the NBA should at least start earlier than July 31st because it does not take that long. Because, I mean, you just got to practice more. You got to do your sprints. If you're also in the NBA and you already know if your team's not out of it, you're still going to be in it. You better be training as well. Because, I mean,
we'll see what the interest is once the Chiefs and Texans.
But they've already opened up facilities in the NBA for players to, like 5 players at a time to go in there, get their conditioning, get their shooting in. They're already doing this. So why can't we start this sooner? It's June. It's June 3rd right now. We're going to start NBA back in July 31st.
I agree. But they're
waiting so long?
They're the ones that are hosing up 2 seasons.
Yeah. And this might hurt the NBA a little more than it's going to hurt, say, if baseball doesn't play or if it does play a little bit. Because everybody's already taxed out. Like, all right, I don't usually see NBA here. So maybe I'll enjoy it. Maybe I won't. We already know how many people act towards, say, spring football. We already know, like, people do not like it. Some people do. Will we see summer months of NBA players liking this or NBA fans liking this, or will they not? July
July 31st, man. It's a wasted time, man. I I mean, NASCAR, golf, they're going to take advantage of this.
NASCAR has already taken advantage of this.
Yeah.
I've actually tuned into a lot more NASCAR's races.
Fun to watch.
And that's the past, 3 or 4 I've watched, and that's probably the most I've watched in about 10 years.
Well, they're going to take advantage of this.
Some team that
That's why baseball needs to get back before that.
Yes. A league's been taking advantage of this.
But we still got training. We still got spring training to go. 2.0.
I don't want spring. Spring training was almost done. That's the thing. Spring training was almost done. We were about to see opening day, and then boom. But a league that's taking advantage of this because there's not even playing right now is the NFL. So their training camps this year are going to be at their practice facilities instead of traveling elsewhere. So it looks like Kansas City will not be going to St. Joe, which is about 45 miles north of Kansas City. If you do not know where St. Joe is at, most of our listeners do know that. But so this is an interesting thing. I'm not surprised they already didn't start doing this. So you mentioned it already that 26 teams have already done this to where they do their
Let me put it
spring
this
training
way.
at.
The year 2000, 10 of 31 teams had home training camps. 32%. 10 of 31 teams. 2019, 22 of 32 had home. So there's only 10 teams that moved training camp. 10. And a lot of that's, within close proximity of where they practice anyway.
Right.
This has been the move for teams, and I know the Chiefs have, got the deals done with St. Joe. Andy Reid likes to have training camp away, and when he moved out of Philadelphia, they brought it right back. I like training camp away. I think there's something about it.
It's the mindset.
From personally, I've just always enjoyed it. I enjoyed when the Chiefs were training at William Jewell. Back when I was in high school, they were at William Jewell and Liberty.
Yeah, it's closer.
They were there for years. I used to go there after our practice. Some of the guys on the football team would go down and watch the Chiefs. And I remember taking my trip with my dad, to River Falls, Wisconsin, when the Chiefs were up there. That was fun. It was a weekend full of football and getting away and just enjoying.
Get that hotel and enjoy it.
I've gone to pretty much every practice since they've been in St. Joe. I've transformed to this job since then. I've been in about every one of them in St. Joe, and I love it. Seeing the kids, the families that go out and put their chairs and their blankets, enjoy it. This helps an economy like St. Joe. It does. They're the ones that are the biggest losers in this whole thing. It's not the Chiefs. It's not anything else. It's the city of St. Joe.
You also got to think about they signed that new contract. Are they going to add another year to that since it's not going to happen?
I would imagine so.
Because Andy Reid loves it up there.
Oh, they do. It's a great place. But I understand if the NFL says no, you got to train at home. Okay, 1 year, it's fine. Do it 1 year here. But the 10 teams, they're still practicing at home. Maybe they look at it and go, this is kind of nice. This is kind of easy. We kind of like this. And they'll drop off to where the following season, you might see 26 of 32 teams practicing at home. With a few going away, I'm sure the Cowboys will. Mm-hmm. They like going out to California and Oxnard, although they have that great facility there, the Star, in Frisco, right at the Dallas Cowboys complex. I think the Chiefs would go back, to be honest with you. Again, I enjoyed it. Everybody driving up on I-29, the Chiefs flags, and everybody driving up, getting the chance to watch the Chiefs. And I've thought about it. How could they do this at Arrowhead? Now, this year's going to be different because I don't think fans are going to be going anyway.
Yes.
There is that hill there where people can watch it. And if the Chiefs did move it here, they could still have the night practice at Arrowhead. What they used to do is, when Todd Haley was here, they used to have, they'd practice in St. Joe, then they would come down and have like a practice at Arrowhead. Then all the fans in Kansas City could go out and watch the practice at Arrowhead. It's things like that that could happen. But training camp is always fun. But again, that's the thing, man. It's a family day and the family fun day, and the players giving autographs to the kids and all the jerseys from all the players. You see all the Mahomes jerseys or Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce from all the kids, and everybody's got their own favorite player, and it's fun. This is personal to me because I enjoy training camp being away, and I do believe it's good for the players. Have that camaraderie being away, and it's always fun. Camp. And then the players, like last year, Sherman comes up in Clint Boyer's NASCAR. The specials ride in the military Humvee. That stuff's fun. I mean, that's becoming more fun when guys show up to camp.
Right.
Now, they can still do that at the facility, but
again, it's not as special because there's fans there. They're trying to show off to the fans, which is perfect. You got to do that. You got to make your presence known.
It started transitioning in about 2008, 15 to 32. were at home. And then we saw the migration in 11 and 12 to 19 of 32, 20 of 32, and now we're up to 22 of 32 at home. So this is the majority. This is 2/3 that have it at home. So you're not asking a lot of NFL teams to make reparations. You're talking 2/3 of all teams already play at home.
And put it like this. If you have your home facility, your home practice facility for your training camp, if the players, I'm assuming most Chiefs players probably live around the vicinity here of Kansas City. Some probably move back home. They probably have an apartment here, something like that. They still have to travel into, say, where their facility is at near Arrowhead. You got to get that done. You got to drive there. So that's every single day you're driving there. If you're at a college campus like Missouri Western, you're already there. You're already safe and sound. There's nothing going to be going on, say, vehicle-wise of driving. You're not going to be late in traffic, or if there is even traffic at what time you get there. Because I'm assuming it's probably 6 a.m. practices. You got to get there on time. It's everything is easier when you're at a general location. Plus, it also brings down the roots of how you got there. You got there through, of course, high school. Then you went to college. You lived in that dorm in college. Then you moved out to a house probably. But you bring that aspect back of, this is pretty much my main roots. This is why I'm here, because I went to a place like this, and I honed my craft, and now I'm doing it at a professional level. It's that mindset that the players need. And some players may not need it, but there's some players that thrive for that. It's also get you out of the house. So you're not even with, like, say, your significant other, maybe your kids, maybe your girlfriend, maybe even your parents.
Yeah, I assume they'd be staying at their home. I mean,
they could probably do the hotels.
They could do a hotel, but then you're talking about players riding. But here's the thing: training camp is always different when you're on campus and you get hurt, and they'll just take you in a golf cart back to your dorm room or whatever, and players walk around and go eat. You can't really do that at a hotel. I mean, you got buses going back and forth. There's just more of an inconvenience for the players. So I assume they would.
And plus, most players drive to St. Joe, and they're able to, like, grocery shop, do all the stuff they need to do.
But they stay up there.
Yeah,
they'll drive over the practice facility in the mornings, or some of them walk and whatever. But most of them drive their cars.
Dorms aren't that far away from the practice
facility.
facility.
But that's the best thing about it is once you leave, you can go there. And now you're talking about players.
There's showers over there. Plus, so it makes sense. You're not gonna be sweaty as hell, and you get into your car, you drive over to your dorm.
But there's more people there than usually is there.
Oh, you're
talking about a 53-man roster of the practice squad. Now you're talking 90 players invited to training camp. It becomes different.
Mm-hmm. And everybody also, say, if you're that player that's invited to training camp, you're near you're near to Arrowhead, and you're thinking, "Wow, I'm right here. It gives you that mindset like, I can do this, or it gives you that mindset that I made it, and then you end up not making it, and it hurts the player even more. I don't know if that even makes sense to you. Because if you're in St. Joe and you travel to the games, of course, because you have the 4 preseason games, it's different because you get to play there. But if you're training there already, it's that mindset of like, oh, I made it already. Oh, crap, I got cut.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not going to complain.
I'm not going to. Yeah, exactly.
And a full season. Let's go.
Well, we don't know that yet. We don't know if the full season's coming back yet.
We don't know it yet, but I assume it will.
Pro Football Focus.
NASCAR made it work. NFL make it work.
I think Adele will make it work no matter what because he wants this.
NFL
he wants the green.
NFL will make it work.
Pro Football Focus released their top 5 players. I want to get our initial reaction to this. We'll go from 5 to 1. Number 5 is George Kittle, which makes sense. He's probably the best tight end in the NFL.
Second best.
There's more George Kittle can do than what Travis Kelce can do. The reason why Travis Kelce's so good is because he has more people around him in order for him to be open, and Patrick Mahomes can find him easily because everybody's double covering. Tyreek Hill.
Depends on how you want to look at it. The 49ers running game was deadly.
And he was a big reason for it because he was blocking. Travis Kelce doesn't
Kittle's
block
a great player. But here's the thing with Kelce. He's got over 200 catches his last 2 years. He's the only NFL player ever at the tight end position to have 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. 97 catches for 1,229 last year, 103 for 1,336 the year before. That is just production, man. He and George Kittle are right there. I think Kelce's got him at this point. It's close.
I think well-rounded George Kittle.
Well, you could say that.
You got to think.
I think it's a great argument.
You got Tyreek Hill. You can have Sammy Watkins. You get McCole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, and then you have Travis Kelce there. Like, you have so many
weapons. We're talking
weapons.
about 2 Super Bowl teams. They're both good.
And Patrick Mahomes is clearly the better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
You know the Niners scored more points per game last year than the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know this.
So,
But George Kittle is way. He works at 5 for me. Number 4, Quentin Nelson, guard for the Colts.
most devastating blocker in the NFL. When Chris Ballard made that draft pick of Braden Smith out of Late the South and Quentin Nelson, he flipped an offensive line that gave up the most sacks in the NFL to the fewest sacks in the NFL in one off season. It's a big reason why Andrew Luck was comeback player of the year.
Yes.
Quentin Nelson is the best offensive lineman in football.
I agree with you.
No doubts.
I agree with you 100%. He deserves to be in the top 5. Number 3, Julio Jones. Great hands.
It's tough for me with Julio Jones. I love what Julio Jones can do, but it's not a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know Quentin Nelson's not either. We're talking about a lineman there, and we're talking about George Kittle. It depends on where you have Christian McCaffrey and Patrick Mahomes, but
Julio Jones is good. From what I've noticed with how the Falcons play, he's mostly double covered when he's in the red zone, which it's terrible for him.
His touchdowns.
That's why his touchdown numbers are so low. But he's able to
be the third best player in the NFL at this point. I don't stand by it.
He needs to have more production. I feel like
I think there's other quality receivers in this league.
But then again, he also has Matt Ryan, who's an aging quarterback, his production's dropped off mightily the past.
But a Super Bowl quarterback.
Didn't win though.
Didn't win.
Should have won.
23.
Number 2, Patrick Mahomes.
Should be 1.
Patrick Mahomes deserves to be in the top 2.
Deserves to be number 1. He is the best player in the NFL at this point. He's a guy that if you had a draft right now,
I'd draft him first.
No teams have any players, keep in mind.
Yeah.
So no teams have any players whatsoever. First of all, Julio Jones is not going 3.
No.
But if no teams have any players, Mahomes is number 1. He's the franchise stable quarterback that's been an MVP, a Super Bowl MVP. The guy came back from 24-point deficit, 10-point deficit, 10-point deficit postseason. Patrick Mahomes is number 1. He slided it.
I agree. I agree with you. He deserves to be in the top.
Quarterback should always be number 1.
Top 2.
It's the most important position. You can make an argument it's the most important position in sports.
It's true. No, it is.
Over all sports.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No, I think 2 is too low for him. I do. He has to. Of course, if you want to say an argument for me, he deserves to be in the top 2 of this. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. We know this. Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. He's an MVP of the league. What else can you do more? Like that's a 2-season span right there. It's a 2-season span. Number 1, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald
is good.
He's the best defensive player right now. I'll give him that. But the way I look at it is, that's fun. Aaron Donald's good enough. But Aaron Donald, as good as that Rams team was, they were rolled in that Super Bowl by the Patriots.
Yeah.
And
defense might have been good, but the offense was terrible.
Aaron Donald is a game changer. He's a stud. Like I said, he's the best defensive player in this league. Give me a quarterback every time. You don't win Super Bowls because of outstanding defensive linemen. And you can make an argument you don't win it because of tight ends. Tony Gonzalez won 1 playoff game his whole career. And you can make an argument he's the best tight end in NFL history. He won 1. George Kittle may not ever get another chance to win a ring. Kelsey won a ring. The tight end doesn't make that much of a difference in the NFL. Christian McCaffrey.
Not even the top 5.
No, here's the thing about Christian.
Run CMC.
He's one of 3 players ever to have 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in the same year. Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig and him. It's been a lot of running backs to play in this league. He's not only a dominant receiver, but a dominant running back. His production's better than he would go ahead of Julio Jones.
I think if you would reorder these 5 guys, the odd man out of this is Kittle. You'd have to put Julio. No, not Julio. You'd have to put. I think the 1-2 be Pat and then run CMC, Christian McCaffrey.
That and then probably
Donald.
Probably Donald.
That's what my top 3 would be. But Pro Football Focus.
But how long can Aaron Donald keep it up? Because it could be a short like Mahomes is going to go another 15 years. You think Aaron Donald's going to be dominant for another 15 years?
No, he's like 29, 30 right now. He's getting up there in age.
Yes.
And he's playing for.
And that's what's going against Kelsey's the age.
Yes. Some oddities. We always like these. It's always different. And get away from the sports topic. So KFC. You like KFC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I haven't had KFC in a while, but I do.
I'm kind of a Popeyes guy.
What's the most important thing you want to get at KFC? And when any type of meal, like, give me your meal right here now.
I'm really into those spicy chicken sandwiches, not to lie.
Yeah.
But just breast or something, you know.
No, but what else? Give me some sides.
Oh, mashed potatoes for sure, and they have the best ones. KFC's got.
Yeah, they do, especially with their gravy mixed that in.
I just like doing that basically as fries. I don't mind fries.
So you like the potato wedges?
Yeah, I don't mind that stuff.
So I always dip the potato wedges in the gravy and stuff. But guess what?
I've been going spicy chicken sandwich more than anything when I go to a chicken place.
They're getting rid of the potato wedges. They're gonna put regular fries at KFC, Bink.
Yeah, you got to be different. You got to step your. That's what burger restaurants do.
See, that's the thing. Potato wedges like the staple of KFC. I think.
Yeah.
It's besides their chicken, besides their mashed potatoes and gravy. I love their mashed potatoes and gravy. You always dip. If you have never tried that, you need to try that.
Of course.
But they're going to be getting rid of that, so KFC is getting rid of the potato wedges. This is stupid.
It's kind of like when Coca-Cola went away from original Coke.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
People just bought a ton of it.
Yeah.
Remember when the Twinkies went away?
Yeah, because of Hostess.
And I went and
out of
bought
business.
like a bunch of boxes.
Never had a Twinkie, but I mean, I assume it's good.
I had to give my boxes away to everybody because I went and bought these Twinkies. I thought they were going out.
Yeah,
Keep in mind, these things last forever. Some say they'll last through a nuclear invasion, but I don't.
I do not want to know if that is possible.
I don't either.
The only thing I liked about Hostess was what are the little like the cupcake things that?
The Hostess cupcakes.
I love those.
I like the ding dongs.
I know what they are. Yeah, the big.
The ho-hos.
Yeah, ho-hos. Yeah, the ho-hos are good.
A big ho-ho. And put them in the freezer. But I like Swiss cake rolls too. Little Debbie. I tend to buy those a lot.
Yeah, but KFC is
cheaper.
Getting rid of the potato wedges, which is just the worst thing in the world. I think they're trying to get a reaction from people.
It's like the McRib at McDonald's. It goes away.
You can never have it year round.
And then it comes back. All the McRib's back. Why doesn't the McRib just stay there?
No, because that's what.
Just
people
keep it.
People will get tired of it, Bink. People will think, okay, I'm just gonna get the McRib. All right, I can't. I've ate the McRib 5 times the past 2 weeks.
Keep it.
I've been doing this for about a couple months now.
Don't let a good thing go. No.
I've had McRib once.
Roll with your good thing.
I think it's overrated.
You think Popeye bring back the chicken sandwich? Be like, no, we're taking the chicken sandwiches away. They're like, why?
Which I've had.
That's the reason why cars are lined up at your place. You don't take it away.
Which is so annoying over here when you're trying to drive out. Like you've already hit Johnson Drive, and there's just so many cars that are wrapped around the outside trying to get Popeyes. Is the chicken sandwich even still there? Are they done with it?
Yeah, they got it still. You ever tried Go Chicken Go?
No.
You try that. It was one on 635. You can get that one day on the way to St. Joe.
I'll have to try that.
Go try the gizzards.
Potato wedges are officially out. Now your questions to us. I've only seen a couple of them that I have wrote down. This was from Jeff Wirtz on Twitter. Who's the most underrated Royals of all time? Underrated Royal, just one Royal.
Underrated Royal. Whit Merrifield.
Yeah,
he currently plays. Guy led the league in hits 2 straight years. Was one guy, the first guy since Ichiro, and since World War II, Indy Gordon to lead the league in hits and stolen bases. Rare company. Whit Merrifield's completely undervalued. He always shows like 50 and whatever in these lists. Whit Merrifield, in my opinion,
he's not
for how good he is, and we're talking lead the league in hits 2 straight years, not the AL, the league. Whit Merrifield's the most underrated player.
No, I agree with you on that. And
I hate to do that though, because I hate to not do revisionist history and bring up players that played the past, but Whit Merrifield.
He's not talked about enough too. He's not like he's a guy that nobody really that's globally, well, United States wise, they're like, oh, it's just another player. That's what they treat him at, and it's so stupid because this is a very talented player that can play any position you want him to play. He'll say yes and do it.
I think he's just as good as Ben Zobrist in his prime. I had that argument with somebody about Ben Zobrist, being on the Royals, and Whit's. I think he's just as good as Ben Zobrist.
I agree. I think. Oh, he's 5 steps above Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, I'm just saying Ben Zobrist's a great player. Don't get me wrong. Whit would have been good in that role that Ben Zobrist had. Whit just kind of developed a little faster, and they could have called him up because he was a member of the Royals. Ben
Zobrist was good as a Royal. He helped him win the World Series, but
especially doubles.
I think his time was a lot better in Tampa Bay. Yeah. I really do.
Well, he's on there. Isn't he on their franchise 4?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he tore it up there. Granted, later years in his time, that's when he was in the Royals. But once the Royals were over, he fell off. But yeah, Whit Merrifield's clearly the most underrated player for the Royals of all time. This is also on Twitter from Travis Stuckey. Who is your favorite defensive back between these 4 players? Greg Wesley, the Bone Crusher, Bernard Pollard, or Brandon Flowers? You can think about it real quick because, I mean, you know me.
Give me that list again.
Greg Wesley, the Bone Crusher, Bernard Pollard, or Brandon Flowers. I'll give mine first, which I think Brandon Flowers. I didn't think he would have that type of mentality when he was a Chief. And he just showed out. Like, he was so good for them. So I'd have to go with Brandon Flowers.
Yeah, I can't really make an argument with you on that as far as
I honestly didn't think he would actually
longevity
do what he did.
And play. Bernard Pollard, though.
And granted, good.
Well, he's the one that he could hit.
Yeah.
Bernard could hit. Not as long as a career as you'd like, but he's the one that injured Tom Brady. He's the one that knocked him out.
Yep, took his knee out.
He's the one that gave Matt Castle all the starts.
So is that who you're going with, Bernard Pollard?
I guess so, yeah.
All right, Bink, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this bad boy up? Put the cage back on the pound?
Let's give me some sports back, man.
Yeah, I want it back.
I do miss those NASCAR races on Wednesdays. That would have been the night.
Are they not doing it tonight?
No, it's this weekend.
So they're done with the weekend to get. Oh, dang, that's annoying. I wish we had more sports throughout the week. But Bink, we did another one, bud.
We did another one, brother.
Hell yeah! Hey, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the Pound.
Make sure you comment your questions in the comment section, either on YouTube or also tag us on Twitter. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know what? The Pound is closed.
Good night. Good afternoon. Whatever, Kramer.
Yeah, whatever it is, Bink.